face.
Yes, sir, brother. We live. Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show.
Yeah, man, I was out watering flowers.
But that's nature. That's us.
That's it.
That's growth. You know, and it's nothing like planting a seed and watching it grow.
Man, they make me happy, so I must take care of them.
Yes, sir, brother. Now, I do gotta. Now, you have in karate when you reach a certain degree, they call you a master, right?
Yeah, that's something that is attributed.
Right, and then in a school of discipline, when you reach a certain level of knowledge or degree, you become a master in that discipline.
Yes, that's also attributed.
And one of the brothers called you Master Waalee Muhammad. That's attributed.
Yeah, well, that is my name.
Yes, sir.
With the title that is attributed in one of the things that I'm known for in the martial arts. So in one of the things I'm known for, my peers and my seniors felt that it was warranted to recognize me, and so they attributed that title to me.
Well, then that means then that you are civilized because you couldn't carry the name or the title of master and be uncivilized.
You know,
yes, sir.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish that.
So you are qualified on this subject, and the title of the subject today is the duty of a civilized man. Although it says person, but we dealing with man, right?
Yes, the duty of a civilized man.
So now it says, and this is coming out of Supreme Wisdom, what is the duty of a civilized person? To teach the uncivilized people who are savage. And we're gonna stop right there, right? Because we gotta figure out what made the people savage. What and can you and in that, and can you expound on that reptilian brain?
Well, in another lesson, it says savage is one who's the knowledge of himself and who is living his life, which means he's being other than himself and on, let's say, or primal areas of life existence.
Okay. So within those primal areas, that means that you only can function or go so far with that reptilian or that limited amount of knowledge.
Yes, because they lack in refinement. They lack knowledge and
Brother, we having a little technical difficulty on this subject because this subject is powerful. And we're going to keep rolling and see if we can get our brother back online so we can continue this for you guys. Very, very, very important topic. And when you have these important topics, believe me, there will always be some type of obstacle. But
that's better.
Yes, sir, brother. But we would keep it rolling. See, look, when it's like, you know, whenever you send out these frequencies and waves going out into the universe, you always have some interference from those who want to interfere, right?
In a world like we live in, that is very much expected,
And
nothing unnatural about it.
that's right. I can't quote the messenger right off, but he was saying he could. He said that the devil is the number one snooper, where he can blow in your ear and tell you something, and the devil couldn't hear what he was saying or make out what he was saying, something to that effect.
Yeah, well, it's just you look at how long ago he made the statement, right?
Yes.
And then when you see the scientists today enlightening the people on things that he can do in order to influence the mind to produce the behavior that he wills, it makes all the sense in the world. But if you don't have knowledge of the sciences of life, you may not understand that, because that's something else as a civilized man should be done. You should teach the sciences of life.
But I'm so glad you said that, because one of the answers for the duty of a civilized person, man, is civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness.
Yes.
So
yes, that's it.
Yes, sir, brother. So the thing is I want to, if you could, expound on the importance of that, and the meaning that the colonizer, he knows the importance of it. So his job is to keep us away from that knowledge so he can continue his rule. But I want, if you could, expound for us how important that is to be civilized.
Well, you can't be civilized and lack knowledge itself. So one of the things that we definitely want to do is educate the uncivilized, or what is known as the savage, to the knowledge of self. And so when you bring them to the knowledge of and to realize certain things, they look at their own behavior to the newly acquired knowledge that they have learned pertaining to themselves and their own behavior. And next, they realize the value and importance of change.
Can you obtain financial gain by being civilized?
By being what?
By being civilized.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, like obtaining financial gain. You don't even have to be civilized to obtain financial gain.
Okay.
That just mathematical procedures as well as scientific, and you learn to acquire. And of course, when you live in a world like this, you can be utilized as a tool and a slave, and your reward by the God of this world is to supply you with as much as you need, that you be attractive and pull as many as you can to yourself, which is pulling them to him, because they belong to him.
And the reason why I asked that is because the hunger for knowledge should be at the forefront of our being in the knowledge of self. And sometimes
Absolutely.
You have to show that you can acquire a good life with knowledge?
Well, one thing is this. Think about it this way. The saying is knowledge is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, the lack of knowledge is of power. And the scripture says, my people perish, but the lack of knowledge. So the lack of knowledge, the less power you have. And you need power in order to move things. You need power. So you need power and force, right?
Yes.
And in order to have that power and force, you must have what? The wisdom to produce it. Mm-hmm. So lacking knowledge and lacking understanding of knowledge won't allow you to do that. Knowledge is all around us. It's all around us. But if you lack knowledge and lack understanding of how to utilize knowledge and application, you live on a hope and a prayer. You live looking for luck. Mm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. Right. You're not putting forth or creating a foundation based on mathematics and science. You hoping a mystery God drops something in your lap.
Yeah, it's right. We say, will you sit up home and wait for the mystery God to bring you food? So, hell no, you won't. You French. Because if you sit up home, you're just going to get more hungrier and hungrier. And as a result of that, you're being persuaded by nature itself to go get food, to move. In order to get food, you have to move.
Well, see, I understand why you would have the title master, right? Because for me, the pressure, without it overcoming me to teach the uncivilized and still be joyous, it's like a punishment within itself. But you'll come on and share knowledge and without being frustrated, similar to the burning bush, it ain't consuming you. You putting out the information and the knowledge. But
well, go ahead. Excuse me, I want to interrupt.
Oh no, sir. But why though? Why is there pressure put on those who know? And why, if you don't teach the duty, you will be met with a severe punishment?
Okay, because you are supposed to have culture, and you're supposed to have refinement. And when you're talking about culture, you have history, life, origin, self-knowledge. And when you're talking about refinement, it means you have self-discipline. And these things are needed or required for you to acquire and attain the life that you choose to live. You know, I don't care if I'm going to use these terms. If you want to be a crook, you can't be stupid. Otherwise, you're going to suffer the consequences rapidly of ignorance. You're going to be captured and everything that goes along with, or you're going to be killed, or you're going to be wounded, or something of that nature. You have to be intelligent. Whatever you want to do, acquire, whatever. If I say, you know, I'd like to make $100,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's one thing to say that, but do you have the technology, which is the teaching, the teaching of that knowledge, how to acquire that? You see, it's a lot of frustration going now in young brothers, young sisters, at can they acquire the life that they really would like to live? They say they pray 5 times a day. They try to live a righteous life and be good, etc. But still they find difficulty in acquiring the life that they want to live. But when you talk with them further, you ask, what is it that you want to do? And a lot of them have trouble telling you that. Simply because they have not focused. They have not focused their brain on what they want to do. So what they end up is really not doing nothing but sporadic movement with no intention.
Well put, brother. Well said. That sums up a lot of frustrations, as you put it, within across the globe. Whether it be in America, Jamaica, Africa, you name it. That frustration is there. We have so many great desires, but can't connect the thing to why we can't get over the hump.
Yes, and it's I mean, and then another thing, we lack patience. We lack patience because we live within the framework of white people's time. And in so doing, you feel like you have very little time because he has very little time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So you feel the stress of doing everything rapidly and quick because that's the way he do things. He has to find a way to do it rapidly, quick, because he's running out of time. We don't have a problem with time. Time works for us. We don't work for time. Have you ever noticed that when you're really involved doing something that you really love doing, you get so involved into it that you stop eating, maybe you're not hungry no more. You're just trying to get done whatever it is you're trying to do. You're not hungry. You're just so involved in what you're doing. The only thing that matters is what you're doing.
Right.
Well, that right there lets you know you're not really bothered by time. We make time. Time don't make us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, bro. Yeah,
we not.
I'm listening. No, I'm listening. We not what, brother?
I just said we make time. Time don't make us.
Right.
When you are in fear of loss and death, two things, loss and death, you always press for time. We ain't got no business being in fear of loss or death. That's how we've been made slaves. You're afraid of losing your life, or you're afraid of losing the life of someone that you're attached to or love. That's how you're victimized, by the threat of that all the time. You're afraid of losing your home. You're afraid of losing your apartment. You're afraid of losing your car. You just feel with all of these fears. So you press for time. You got to get out there. You got to get it. You got to get it.
Come on. Facts. Okay. So how do we master time?
Just realize that you got all you need in order to do what it is you want to achieve. I was telling Derek the other day, do you think, Walaikum salam, I'm fine, I'm on the phone. I'm telling Derek, do you really think God's so concerned about time? Just think about that for a minute. Do you think God's so concerned about time?
No.
Do you think the will of God is hindered by time? Do you think the will of God is hindered by death?
No.
Well, what does that tell you? He accomplished his will, period. Whether he's what? Present or not.
That's right.
Because it's already been planned, it's already been determined. It works within the science and mathematics of life. And you can't change that because it's perfect what he did. Mr. Yaqub didn't live but what? 150 years.
Right.
But his man that he made lived 6,000.
Wow.
So what? He left orders, strict instructions as to his laborers what to do. They followed him. They did it. And as a result, Mr. Yaqub was successful. It's not how long we live. That's not what we're concerned about. We're concerned about our will, what we will, and getting it done.
Well,
We're not used to,
yes, sir, brother.
we're not used to living like that in the devil's world. Some of us come very close. Some of us are very focused, strong intent. And those are the ones that you see, man, look at him. They always showing you things about the miracle. Look at the brothers who are referred to as success. What do they all tell you? Boy, they say once you get your idea, which they refer to as they dream, don't let nobody do what? Turn you away from your dream. Right. Stick with it, stay with it, go through everything with it. Because you are the one who is generating the power for it to what? Be. You're God.
Yes, indeed. You. So from within, you generating the without.
Yes. And I look at my plants, like I said, I'm just watering the plant. They give me pleasure. I love the beauty of them. They satisfy me. So as a result, what? I know what they require in order to live. And if I ask someone, they require water. You got to feed them. You got to do this. No. What they require is my attention and my energy. When I give them my attention and when I give them my energy, everything they need comes with that. Water, food, making sure things are not choking them out, etc. So that's the way we should think concerning our ideas. Our ideas live simply because they are doing so as a result of our input, our energy, and how strong it is and how continuous it is. That's called our will. If your will is weak, then don't have much expectation of the life that you generate.
Wow. So how do we, it says our people suffer from a lack of knowledge, which includes a lack of love for self. After being beat down by this system where they tried to make everything that was black negative, how do we get the uncivilized or the people to fall in love with themselves once again, that person in the mirror?
Well, I'll tell you like this. First of all, you won't attain that by thinking of what was. And you can attain it by looking at what is. And what is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad not only have taught us the way, he has shown us the way. You see, and he has led us the way. That's why he carried 3 titles here: leader, teacher, and guide. And what he brought to us was new. But we spend more time focusing on what happened in slavery and what happened with the injustices that are going on in America than we do focusing our attention, brain and mind, on the one who has brought us what we need to come out of what we've been under.
That's the healing. That's the medicine.
That's it, bro.
That's it.
We should become living witnesses. How can you be a living witness? You must bear fruit of what you advocate. How in the world you going to say you're God and you have supreme wisdom, and you crying and you frustrated, trying to pay your rent, trying to pay your mortgage all the time, trying to pay your car note, hiding your car? How you gonna do that?
Right.
You see, you just think. The majority of us spend, just say, the greater part of our life just trying to acquire the bare necessities of life. What time do we have to give our minds to the higher things in life? We don't. We're working from sun up to sundown, still trying to acquire food, clothing, and shelter, and learning how to protect ourselves. That's just ridiculous. Year after year after year after year after year, trying to do the most basic thing. We have not mastered that. So if you haven't mastered that, that's what Jesus meant when he was telling Nicodemus. How can you expect me to tell you a heavenly thing, teach you a heavenly thing, when you have yet to master earthly matters?
Come on. Okay, come on. It's in degrees. It's in stages.
Yes, but you have to begin. It's like acquiring. Just say when you study the martial arts, like karate. Okay, you come in. Your belt is white. Your belt is white, simply showing what?
Well, yeah.
You are empty inside.
Okay.
But over time, you acquire color until it moves to black. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you acquire black, that means you have acquired all of the knowledge of that particular art to be qualified here as a black belt. So that black belt means you got plenty of knowledge about the discipline that you are pursuing.
Wow.
So it's the same way in life. It's like you have to ask yourself, what are we doing? You know, black people love to talk. That's they love to talk because they have found it to be a way to avoid dealing with those things in life that they must deal with in order to liberate themselves from what is holding them in snare. That's why everybody wants to tell us the problem. Hell, we know what the problem is, brother. It's fear. It's fear of the white man, and fear of death, and fear of loss. That's what it is. We have seen the terror of this man. We have seen, in other words, what he's capable of. And it's embedded in us so deeply. But we found ways, to hide it and conceal it. No, you might be hiding it and concealing it from those who don't have the vision to see the internal world. But God just smiled. He knows what it is. He sees it. He knows the internal world and he knows the external world. And he masters both of them, the spiritual and the physical.
So, from me listening to you, brother, it seems as if Master Farad Muhammad and this supreme wisdom was preparing us for a future time. And the reason why I say
step
that,
by step.
Just say again, brother.
Step by step. It's steps to this.
It's steps. Come on, brother. Yeah.
It's steps to this.
And
look, you got to understand what Master Farad Muhammad gave to the messenger. The messenger told us what it was. It was a wake-up message. It was a wake-up message. It was the messenger had a job to do. It was to clean us up. So filthy, there got to be another word to say how filthy we are as a people. But to clean us up and make us fit for God. And to wake us up to the knowledge of self, the devil, and all that has occurred while we were asleep.
I ask that because sometimes I would hear people saying that, well, without the white man, it'd be total chaos and we'd be at each other's throat and order would be gone. And I'm like, well, hell, if you got the supreme wisdom and you studying it, you prepared to keep moving forward with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
But you got to understand, everyone talks about supreme wisdom. Supreme wisdom is not something that you just read and memorize and you got it. Supreme wisdom has to be what? It has to be proven.
Right.
It has to be proven that it is supreme. How do you prove it? Any wisdom less than what is considered supreme cannot stop the rise of what is supreme. So it shows a lot of people running around here talking about their God. A lot of people around here talking about this, that, and the other. They can't change nothing. They can't change nothing. They can't do nothing. They're struggling like hell, but they got supreme wisdom. Really what they're doing is making themselves look very, very silly and childlike to everybody.
Right.
Supreme wisdom. You can't be stopped. So how the hell are you going to be using words like, well, you see, I know the devil, he gonna stop us from this because if we go out here and do, what are you saying?
Right.
What happened to your supreme wisdom?
Right.
But supreme wisdom is kind of like in the Kung Fu movies, right? If I'm teaching you a technique, right? I teach you the technique, right? You say, I got it. Remember the Matrix?
Right.
And when Neo and Morpheus had the fight, Neo said, what? I know Kung Fu. Morpheus said, oh, you do? Show me.
Come on.
See, and then Morpheus proceeded to beat him all over the place. You see?
Right.
So it showed he really didn't know it.
Right.
He was introduced to it.
Right.
He had a form of it, right? But he really had not mastered it. He really had not used it to develop himself. And if you notice through the movie, the more he used it to develop himself, his fear began to go away and his confidence began to grow. And his confidence was growing in what? In what Morpheus had taught him about who he was. He began to accept it. And the more he began to accept it, you saw it reflected in his behavior. And so, remember, on the, what they call the underground train, when they said, what is he doing?
Right.
And Morpheus said, he's beginning to believe. When he had a fight, when is we going to begin to believe? And surely, he's still running around with cameras in the street. As our people are being slain and killed, we're going to take a picture of it to show we got it. And then after we take a picture of video, where is it going? You're going to show it to the same enemy that's tied to the murder itself.
Right. He gonna laugh at you.
Who you in the street? What are you protesting for in the street? Freedom, justice, equality. From who? The one who took it from me. What make you think he's gonna give it to you? Well, this is nonsense.
Right.
But our people have to go through this nonsense because God will only appear after everything else has failed the so-called Negro. When he's in a position that only God can get him out.
Brother, and that's a sad state.
That is, because it's going to be a lot of loss of life to get to that position. I'm sorry to be the one to have to tell you. A lot of our people are going to die.
But before we close, brother, on that note, I just want to ask you, will that be pertaining to this 144,000 who's supposed to survive? Are those the ones who believed, heard, and obeyed?
Save that for another time.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
That deals, that's a very powerful thing you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Save that for another time. We don't have enough time to go into it, Bob.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir. Definitely. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate your wisdom and I appreciate the knowledge, but not just for myself. For those that are listening who has a thirst for knowledge or who sense something is just not right, but just couldn't put their finger on it and haven't had it explained to them in a way to where they can grasp a hold and understand and build from it. I appreciate your teaching style, if you will, because it opens up the minds of a lot that listens to the show.
All praise is due to the Almighty God Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm just one of his who is doing what I am to do. I am Waalee Muhammad, the friend of the faithful.
Thank you, brother, for being on the show. Until next time, brother, be safe. We love you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Bro Peak Radio, we're out.